That you must passively wait for a diagnosis before you take any action is disempowering and keeps you stuck. You're not dependent on tests alone for a solution and for answers. My name is Anindita, and today I'm talking about why we need to seek real answers, which we do by embracing our own body's wisdom rather than relying only on external inputs, diagnosis, tests, etc., which are more like band-aids on a wound, right? That's what I'm talking about today. Because if you're looking for answers and you believe that you must passively wait for all the answers before you start even taking one step to actually support your body's healing, then you're not alone. This belief is very prevalent, very commonplace, but it's outdated and it's completely disempowering. It remains, it keeps us believing, it keeps us stuck in what I call a disease merry-go-round, because you're not really dependent on tests alone to find the solutions, right? We do, but we don't realize this. And I completely understand your desire to seek answers, to look for to obviously get a diagnosis, because it is important to get treatments, right? So it is important to get the right medication to prevent further damage. Like in the case of autoimmune conditions, you want to prevent further tissue damage by taking medications short to medium term. But that's not a lasting solution. That's not a root cause approach. You're not really doing anything to address the root causes. You're simply masking the symptoms. But it gives you time, it gives you energy to actually do what is really necessary. And I remember I used to believe the same way, that I had to find the answers, and all the answers lay outside of us when I was dealing with my daughter's major health struggles. And I used to keep waiting because I thought that I would get all the answers from the doctors, from the tests, from the the medications would finally cure it. And then realized to my dismay that that was not the case, because while she was on medications for 5 years, it did not really, it was like a band-aid on the solution. And once it gets ripped off, as it will, all the issues come back, right? So getting a diagnosis means that you start getting better, but you can start medications, right? This is what most people believe, that getting a diagnosis means that you can start treatments and start getting better. Well, then everyone who took medications should be cured of chronic conditions like eczema, autoimmune disease, isn't it? But that's clearly not what happens. People continue to take medications for the rest of their lives, though those have side effects. Then they develop multiple other health issues, and it's sort of this, they get stuck, right? And this is not something that you want to, this is not a situation that you want to be in. This is what I call a disease merry-go-round. You need to find a way to get off this ride. This ride is not fun, right? This ride is filled with unpredictability, uncertainty, and anxiety over an uncertain future, right? This is not how we want to live our life. Because while getting a clear diagnosis does provide validation, just relying solely on external answers means crucial healing opportunities are often overlooked, right? There are so many ways that we can start focusing on our diet, focusing on our lifestyle, stress, mindset. All of these tend to get overlooked simply because we are waiting years, if not decades, for somebody else to tell us what is wrong with us and what we need to do. But there are ways that we can tune in to our own bodies and get some answers to get started, right? Because the issue with this approach in the case of chronic conditions like autoimmune disease is that they don't have the traditional cure in the sense, in the sense of the word. There is no cure, right? But they can certainly be managed. The symptoms many of the symptoms can be reversed. Some of the, depends on how much damage has already been done, of course. But a lot of the symptoms can be reversed. Many people actually go on to live almost, the life that they led before, right? With so many things that can change. In any case, you have an enhanced quality of life, because our bodies give us access to powerful wisdom that can guide this process. And that's the inner compass that you already have access to. You already have it right now, right? You don't have to wait for anybody to show it to you. Maybe you need to explore that and uncover it, because you would have forgotten it and you knew it when you were a very small child. Children are very, very tuned into their bodies. They know exactly how they're feeling. They cry when they're upset. They laugh when they're happy. So their emotions, their feelings how their body is feeling, and we lose all of that as we grow up, right? So, and that's the reason so many of us get stuck in what I call is a disease merry-go-round that I just mentioned to you. But before I go on, I just want you to remember that I do not advocate an either or approach. It's not either medications or what I'm talking about, which is tuning into your body's wisdom. Often it is both. In the case of severe chronic conditions, complex chronic conditions like the ones that I work with in my practice, and I help women with autoimmune conditions reverse their symptoms with their bodies as their guide. Often we need to be on medications to prevent further damage. At the same time, there's so many different things that we can do to lay a very, very strong foundation for healing, for reversing our symptoms, right? And this gives us lasting relief from our symptoms. It's not a band-aid, it actually is real answers that we get. So our bodies, as I said, our bodies give powerful wisdom. So, but if you continue to believe that no real progress can be made until you have a confirmed diagnosis, you may waste months, years, or even decades to do that. And that is where so many people are stuck. I mean, I interact with different people in various communities, specifically autoimmune related communities, and that's where I see so many women, men are stuck there. They believe that they have to keep waiting, that only tests have all the answers, the medication is the only thing that they can look forward to, and that's it. I mean, that's their life right now. So your symptoms could, but then as they keep doing that, their symptoms could even progress and new ones can appear, because the root is never getting addressed. The root causes are never getting addressed, right? It's only that the symptoms are getting masked. So now that we have explored the downsides of passively waiting for answers and relief from the outside, I want you to start picturing what it truly feels like when you take charge of your own healing. And I call healing a journey. And when you start embracing your healing journey, that's when magic happens. That's when the transformation happens. But this begins by making a shift from looking to external authorities to give you all the answers, to tuning inwards to find solutions, to tuning into your own body to find the solutions. And in my coaching program, the Body-Wise Healing Framework does just that. It gives a clear roadmap, and it's a paradigm shift in terms of how you can deal with your health condition, and it gives a clear roadmap and real answers, right? So unlike the conventional medicine approach where you are powerless, anxious, frustrated, maybe you feel helpless about the unpredictability, unreliability of what's going on in your life in terms of your symptoms, because you can only rely on external inputs and experts. This approach, the inside out approach, gives you back that power, because you realize that your body was sending you messages all along. It was trying to tell you what it needs in order to restore balance, right? In order to calm the inflammation or lower the inflammation, to bring your immune system back into balance. It was telling you all this while. You just have to learn how to listen once again. So the way the Body-Wise Healing method works, actually there are four steps. There are 3 pillars, but I'm not going to get into that today, but these are the 4 main steps. It basically helps you to tap into your innate healing potential using your own body as a guide, as I mentioned. And here is how it works. So step 1, you start by cultivating self-compassion, body awareness, and re-empowerment. That's where you start. This lays the groundwork. Like, this is what you need to focus on. Step 2, you learn to decode the symptoms and learn how to, understand what your body is trying to tell you, right? Which are the areas that you need to make a priority. Your body speaks and you learn how to listen. It was speaking all along, but now you learn how to listen. Step 3, there are custom protocols that address multiple dimensions simultaneously. There's diet, stress, food, toxins, all of it, lifestyle, mindset, all of this has to be addressed simultaneously, and this creates conditions for healing, right? This is the step 3. And step 4, as healing occurs, your body wisdom continues to reveal the next most important layers of, that you need to peel back in order to find sustained relief, sustained well-being. Like, so you stay tuned in for the rest of your life, and that's what creates a sustainable health, and that's what you want. So this healing unfolds from within, and that's why you're not reliant anymore for external answers, solutions. Of course, as I said, it's not an either or approach. So if you need a medication, you need diagnosis, you need to go in for that. At the same time, this carries on simultaneously, and there may come a time where you may not need those medications anymore. You may be able to do this by yourself as your body gets back into balance, and that happens for so many people, including my own daughter. There's a doctor called Dr. Terry Walls, there's Dr. Emmy Myers, Dr. Susan Bloom. There are quite a few doctors and ordinary people like my daughter, in the sense who have reversed their conditions and managed to get off their medications, right? So it is possible. And I want to ask you this: haven't been there times in your life when you had to find the strength and wisdom from within to overcome some challenge? Even though I know it's tempting to continue to seek externally for answers, there would have been times in your life, right? And isn't it more important now to focus reconnecting to that inner compass so that you can start taking steps towards long-term relief, right? Instead of being stuck on the disease merry-go-round. That is where you need to sort of shift towards. And how is waiting passively going to help you to reclaim your health, your vitality, and your life's purpose, right? That's not help. This approach is not helping you. It's keeping you stuck. The answers that you seek are already within you, right? So if you keep waiting for the perfect protocol, for the perfect diagnosis, treatment to be handed to you, you may stay trapped in the disease merry-go-round for the rest of your life, right? You need to start taking action now. You need to start, you need to stop being what I call a weary warrior. Of course you're fighting, of course you're putting up a fight, of course you're seeking answers and doing all of that, which is amazing and it's commendable. But if you're still stuck there and you feel tired and helpless and frustrated, then it's time to take a different approach. And that's what being a weary warrior is about. You need to move from that. So the choice is yours. So if you are if you are willing to now change your approach, I mean, in the sense that you want to continue putting your faith exclusively in external solutions, or do you want to shift your focus now to this place, the inner compass that you already have within you, right? The way to speak, to listen to your body when your body is speaking. And if you're ready to do this and you're ready to tune into your body's wisdom, then I highly recommend that you schedule a free 45 minutes discovery call. I've opened up some slots. Schedule a free call, learn how this works, and learn what your next steps should be, and learn what areas of priority you need to focus on and what your next steps should be. Head to the link in bio to do that, and I'll see you soon.